Welcome to video number 4. This is a video about initially approaching charities to request application forms.
Now this is a crucial intermediary stage that a lot of students actually miss out. Now you need to write these initial letters of inquiry to request forms to make sure that you're actually eligible and to get the charity to invite you to apply to them. Now this is actually a step that a lot of people miss out, and they often just simply end up writing to the charity before writing these initial letters of inquiry, only to find that actually they weren't eligible for the charity or that they didn't apply correctly. Now, the real reason for writing these letters, though, is number one, to obviously request forms, if there aren't any available, for example, on a charity's website, but also just to make sure that you can actually apply. Now, many charities change their eligibility criteria quite frequently, or they may simply have eligibility criteria that they didn't state up front. That when you saw the textual description for that charity, maybe in a funding database, maybe on the internet, maybe in a book in the library, that actually there are eligibility criteria the charity has which weren't there, which you need to find out about. Also, simply, many charities don't make grants all the time. Some of them have periods where they don't give away any money, maybe periods of retrenchment, maybe periods where they're in financial difficulty, whatever it might be. So you need to write this initial letter of inquiry to get an idea of the current status of a charity, to get an idea of whether they are actually in a position to make you a grant at this time. Now, the way you write this initial letter of inquiry, if they have an email address, then by all means use that. If they don't have an email address, as is quite usual with many charities, you need to send them a letter in the post. Now, this letter will have to include a stamped, self-addressed envelope. Now, this is just simply an A5 or an A4 envelope with your name and address on and sufficient postage to pay for maybe 6 or 8 sheets of paper. Always include this stamped, self-addressed envelope, because some charities are very, very fussy about this and won't actually reply unless you include one.
When it comes to writing your initial inquiry letter, there are 4 example letters on our website. These include one for prospective masters, current masters, prospective PhDs, and one for current PhDs.
Now, don't treat these letters as gospel. They're designed simply to give you a kind of a basic idea of what to write in your letter. But the core thing is this. This letter is designed to be a very simple, business-like letter where a charity can simply decide whether they want to invite you to apply or not. It should include your name, your course, your nationality, whether you're a current student or whether you're a prospective student looking to start at university, and when. It's absolutely not a place to go into complicated arguments about your course, your research, or your financial situation. All of those things can be saved for your actual application itself. Now, you're probably going to have to send out quite a lot of these initial letters of inquiry, simply because they will probably have a quite low success rate, in that you will only get a relatively small number of positive replies for the number of letters that you send out. So expect a lot of disappointment. You might, for example, find that 40% or so of the charities that you approach actually don't reply at all. Maybe of those who do reply, the majority of them go and simply whip out some eligibility criteria you didn't know about. They say that they don't have any money at the moment, or that they say they don't make awards to individuals. All of those things are very common reasons why a charity that you thought was absolutely perfect when you found it actually isn't really for you. So you may end up having to send out 20, 40, even 100 of these initial letter of inquiries. There really are a lot of them. But hopefully you will get some positive responses. You will get maybe 5, maybe 10 bodies that write back to you and say, yes, here's an application form, we'd like to invite you to apply. Once you have even got that far, your chances of eventually securing that award are at least reasonable. And we'll work out how you give yourself the best chance of obtaining that award in the next section, the application section.
Thanks for listening. Please click on the Read More About It link at the bottom of the page for more information.